What's going on, YouTube? This is Chris the Mentalist Dreher, aka Dreher55597. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a deck list or uploaded anything really. So for you guys today, I have the actual Tele-Dox deck that I've been working on. This is the second draft of it, and I went, tested out at my locals last week. Played against 2 Prophecy decks and 4 Dragon Rollers deck. And I ended up with a record of 4-2. I beat both Prophecy players, and I beat 2 Dragon players during the tournament. Got 7th place out of, I think, like 40-something people. Not a big tournament, but I did play the 2 best decks, and I had a pretty good record against them. So, anyways, on to the deck. So you're going to run 3 Redox, Dragon Roller Boulders. And this guy is really the main engine of the deck. The Monster Reborn effect is the effect that I try to take the most utility out of and use the most. But he's also a pretty big wall, and he's actually pretty nice as a level 7 to Synchro with Effect Veiler. Next, 2 Grandsoils. He's back in the deck, and I know for a while there I was a avid hater of this card and an avid lover of this card. It's just the fact that you get them when you don't want them, and then when you do need them, you can't. It's just you have to play around this card. But he's back in that too, because I found out that in the Dragon Ruler matchup, after you hit with Crimson Blader, you have 1 turn in order to beat them before they come back. That's what Grandsoil is for. Then 3 Serene Psychic, which is self-explanatory. You play Psychics, 2 Psychic Jumpers. This card is so good, I almost want to bump it up to 3. It's absolutely ridiculous. Everybody knows about the take their Draco sack, make 2 tokens, make a Crimson Blader, do that. Woo woo. But you can also, if you can get 2 Psychics on board, you can take one of their Jowgins, blow up their side of the field, and then, have the Prophecy player, struggle up. He goes into Naturia Beast against Prophecy, so I mean, he's just all around. He's your win condition in this format. Next, you run 2 Psychic Commanders, level 3 tuner, and he takes down anything Thunder King and under, which means he takes down Kaiku, he takes down Jowgin, he takes down all of the baby dragons. He takes down all the evil swarms except for Heliotrope and Ophion and all that, but you wouldn't want him on board then. Next, I run 1 Huhsed Psychic Cleric, more special summon ability, and he is a level 3 to emergency teleport with. That's one of his main qualities in this deck, is that I can go get him from the deck whenever I want to, Synchro into level 5 or 6 or whatever it may be. And with Redox in the deck, I can pitch Redox for his effect, and then it's basically free because Redox can come to the board whenever he wants to. So, yeah, he's a great card. And 1 Silent Psychic Wizard, just because the normal summon in this deck is so important. Normal summoner stat, you want it to go to Serene Psychic Witch. And then there are another couple of cards in this deck that you'll see that you want to normal summon too. So I only have him in at 1. And now everybody knows just how great Psi-Blocker is. I'm maining him at 2 now for the main reason of calling out Effect Veiler. Like I told you guys about the tournament last week, every time I tried to make the Psychic Jumper take their Draco Sack play, they Effect Veilered me. So then I would Synchro in the Magical Android. I would use Redox's effect to get Psychic Jumper back and then do it anyways. But if I had Psi-Blocker, I could just normal summon Psi-Blocker, call Effect Veiler, activate Emergency Teleport, and then just do my play anyways. And I could save my Redox to, do whatever I need next turn, or even the rest of that turn, and make a more explosive field. So Psi-Blocker enables that. And Psi-Blocker also protects Ultimate Axon Kicker. I'll go into that a little bit later. Next, I run 2 Maxx's, and I almost want to bump this one up to 3 too. But Prophecies make me keep it at 2 because it's terrible against prophecies. If you know you're playing against a prophecy player and you have Maxx in hand, I would probably just normal summon an emergency teleport and make a Naturia Beast with them. Because by the time you special summon, they have too much protection. They have a fate set and probably a fate in hand. So all the cards you're drawing probably aren't going to do much. On the flip side of that coin, Effect Veiler is absolutely great against the deck. Of course, you want to hit their little boy Spellbook Magician Prophecy. You want to hit High Priestess of Prophecy, of course. This also goes good against Jowgen. And it works against Kaiku a tad bit if you don't want, them removing anything out of your grave. So, and you don't because you're playing Grandsoil. You want your Earth count to be right. So Effect Veiler does great against them, and it's also a level 1 tuner if you need it to be. 1 Gorz, because you have to be maxing into something, or else there's no point. And 2 Swift Scarecrow, once again another Earth. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this card. I didn't really draw it too much, so I'm testing again tomorrow to see if it does anything. But it's 2 Earths. It's an Earth that you can pitch into Redox. It's an Earth you can use for Grandsoil, save you another turn. And a lot of the times, this deck is a reactive deck. So you want them to get their monster on board, and then you take it from them with Jumper. Basically is how you win the games now. So Scarecrow gives you that 1 more turn to, do what you need to do. And then double Cardcar D rounds out the monsters. This format is extremely ridiculously fast, and in order to keep up, you have to draw into your cards, your power cards. And your power cards are Serene Psychic Witch and my next card, Emergency Teleport, which we run 3 of. So if you get Emergency Teleport, you get Serene Psychic Witch, you can set up your play and get into your jumper as soon as possible. Or whatever Synchro you need to deal with whatever problem you have. Next, 2 pod dualities. Same deal as Cardcar D. You just want to search through your deck, get whatever you need right when you need it, and try to stall out until next turn when you can come back and make a push for game. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, because even though it's almost dead in this format, you have to play it. You're going to be playing against some rogue decks. You're going to be playing against Dragon Rulers who set breakthrough skill. And you need your Crimson Blader hit to go off, no matter what. So you have to run it at 2. And you can also use it against Spellbooks. When they activate their tower, just activate space on their tower and it misses timing. 1 monster Reborn and Heavy Storm. I do not run Dark Hole because it's extremely dead against everything. If you played against Mermails, then you're already losing and you probably lost. If you play it against Prophecies, they're going to Spellbook of Wisdom on their Jowgen, and then you won't be able to do anything, or their Priestess. And Dragon Rulers always end with Dracosac with 2 tokens. So you would have to attack twice and then activate it or whatever, and it's just, Dark Hole is not quite worth it this format. And 1 Miracle Synchro Fusion, because Ultimate Acton Kicker is very vulnerable now, but I'll go into that later. For the traps, I'll run 2 Compulse, absolutely great this format. I run 2 Fiendish Chains. I love this card against Prophecies just because if they Spellbook of Wisdom it still goes back onto that monster at the end phase. And same for Evil Swarms. If they, Infestation Pandemic, it still hooks back up to whatever monster, probably Ophion, that you chain to. And then double Dimensional Prison to round out the traps, just because I needed something to stop attacks. And Mirror Force does nothing against Dracosac. Mirror Force does nothing against Abyssalind. Mirror Force does nothing against High Prophets of Prophecy, even though Dimensional Prison doesn't really either against her. It's still, I like it better. On to the extra deck. You run 1 Leviair. Everything goes out of play. 1 Temtempo. Temtempo is amazing. It takes off that extra attachment from Ophion so that you can go ahead into your Synchro plays. 1 Alley of Justice Catastor. 1 Naturia Beast, which we all know is our answer to prophecy. You get to it as quick as you can. And 1 Magical Android to round out the level 5s. 1 Nightmare. Actually great against the Dragon Ruler matchup because all they have is monsters in hand. And prophecies, all they have is spells. So, you know, if you have to go into him, call spells or monsters most of the time. And 1 Naturia Barkion for the rogue decks and the chain burn. You know, chain burn is big now that it's known to beat dragon rulers. Barkion is getting stronger and stronger the more chain burn you play. 1 Life Transfer and Black Rose that's been there for quite some time and is going to be there for a while. 1 Thought Ruler because this is a psychic deck and he protects all your monsters. 2 Crimson Bladers because Dragon Rulers are the best deck. And Crimson Blader is the only card that we main that can really deal with the deck. Straight up. So I run 2. I might take out 1 for Colossal Fighter. I'll try that out tomorrow and let you guys know how it goes. 1 Scrap Dragon. 1 X-Saber Gotems, which you can go into with Psychic Jumper and Redox. Actually, one of my subscribers, Humble123, told me about that. And also, it's 1 or more Earth monsters. So you can go into it with, you know, Commander, and Serene Psychic Witch because all you have to do is get 2 or more Earth monsters who equal level 9. It doesn't have to be tuner and non-tuner. And then 1 Ultimate Axon Kicker. And the reason why Miracle Synchro Fusion is down to 1, and that's your only chance to get him out, is because he's really only great in rogue matchups now. And what I mean by that is that Dragon Rulers, if you play against Dragon Rulers, they're just going to take them with Big Eye. If you play against Prophecies, they're just going to beef up their monster with Spellbook of Power and attack over it and then get 2 searches. Or 1 search or however many searches they had to use. So against the top, Mermails are going to take it with Big Eye. So against the top decks, you know, Ultimate Axon Kicker is just too vulnerable. And Psi-Blocker is really the only way, whenever I make him, I have Psi-Blocker on board so that I can call, you know, number 11 Big Eye or Spellbook of Fate or Spellbook of Power or whatever. If I know what they have, whichever one they have, then I'll call that. But that's the only way that you can actually protect him because people don't destroy stuff with card effects anymore. They just take them. They just take your stuff. And then on to the extra, side, which is still in progress. Got 2 Debunks, which is good against everything. Blaster is what I use it for in the Dragon Ruler matchup. And High Priestess of Prophecy, of course. 2 Medions. Once again, this deck is a comeback deck. So Medion helps you stall out for that turn and burn your opponent for their aggressiveness. Hopefully you can deal with the Big Eye that they're going to try to make in order to get rid of it. 2 Soul Drains for Mermails and Dragon Rulers and Dark Worlds if you happen to run into them. 2 Vanities Fiends for everything. If you can normal summon this guy onto an empty board, then you should have game. Especially against the top decks. They don't run anything except for Prophecies that can get over this. And, you know, of course you want defense, but Dragon Rulers have to blaster him. And Mermails have to use infantry. And I think they only run 1 or 2. So, double Mind Crush. High Priestess. Dragon Rulers. You don't ever want to use this against Dark Worlds, period. But you can also call, you know, spells like you can call Spellbook of Secrets or Spellbook of Judgment, blah, 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 and make them, you know, drop what they need. Just be careful when you're using it. 2 Thunder King to help try to mitigate the Spellbook matchup because they just search and fill the grave, then banish it, then get it to the hand, and it's a lot of hoopla, and it's just ridiculous. So Thunder King tries to help me, you know, stop that until I can get into a beast. I run one Swift Scarecrow to make the third one, and then double spell Shattering Arrow. This was, I was just testing it out. I needed a 14th and 15th card. And if you use this on their Spellbook of Tower and their Spellbook of Tower or Spellbook Star Hall, it makes them lose. It makes them miss timing because the last thing that happens is the 500 per card that was destroyed. So they can't search and or special summon off of either one of them, and they lose all their attacks and this, that, and the third. So I kind of liked it, but like I said, as a tech, I'll really get something good for that spot later on, like goes in match. But anyways, guys, that was the Tele-Dox deck, and let me know what you guys think. Any comments or any suggestions will be more than welcome. All right, guys, peace.